Apple, the company that made computing human. By the mid-1970s, the future had already been invented. The microprocessor existed. Networking existed. Graphical interfaces existed. The mouse existed. Researchers at places like Xerox PARC were imagining entirely new ways for humans to interact with machines. There was just one problem. Almost nobody was using them. Computers were intimidating, expensive, technical. They belonged to governments, universities, corporations, research laboratories. The average person didn't want a computer. Most people didn't even know why they would need one. Then a company emerged from Silicon Valley with a radically different idea. What if computers weren't designed for experts? What if they were designed for everyone? That question helped transform computing from a specialized activity into an everyday experience. And in doing so, Apple changed the relationship between humans and technology forever. Before personal computing, to understand Apple's significance, we need to understand the world before personal computing. For decades, computers belonged to institutions, governments, universities, large corporations, research laboratories. The machines were powerful, but they were distant. Most people never touched one, never interacted with one, never imagined owning one. Computing was something that happened somewhere else, behind secure doors, operated by specialists. The idea that every household might someday own a computer seemed almost absurd. Yet beneath the surface, important technologies were beginning to emerge. Microprocessors were shrinking computers. Networking was connecting them. Researchers were reimagining interfaces. The pieces existed. They simply hadn't been assembled into something ordinary people could use. Two Steves and a vision. In 1976, Apple was founded by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. Like many Silicon Valley stories, the company began small. But from the beginning, Apple viewed technology differently. Wozniak was a remarkable engineer, someone who could see elegant technical solutions where others saw complexity. Jobs focused relentlessly on experience, how products felt, how they looked, how ordinary people interacted with them. Together, they represented a powerful combination: engineering and usability, technology and design, capability and accessibility. That combination would become Apple's defining advantage. In 1977, Apple introduced a product that helped launch the personal computer era, the Apple II. Today, its technical specifications appear primitive, but historical significance is rarely measured by specifications. It's measured by impact. The Apple II succeeded because it wasn't designed solely for hobbyists. It was designed for homes, schools, businesses, everyday users. For the first time, many people could imagine incorporating a computer into daily life. A profound transition had begun. Computing was leaving the institution and entering the household. The missing ingredient. One of the recurring lessons throughout Bay origins is that invention alone rarely changes the world. The transistor didn't change the world by itself. The microprocessor didn't change the world by itself. The mouse didn't change the world by itself. Technologies become transformative when people actually use them, and that requires usability. This was Apple's great contribution. Many of the underlying technologies already existed. The challenge was integration. How do you combine powerful technologies into a product ordinary people can understand? Apple increasingly focused on answering that question. The Macintosh revolution. Then came one of the most important products in computing history, the Macintosh, introduced in 1984. The Macintosh did not invent the graphical user interface, nor did it invent the mouse. Many of those concepts emerged earlier through research institutions such as Xerox PARC. But Apple did something equally important. It brought those ideas to a much larger audience. Users interacted through icons, windows, menus, mouse-based navigation. Instead of memorizing commands, people could explore visually. Computing became more intuitive, more approachable, more human, and that mattered, because every reduction in complexity expands participation. Human-centered computing. Apple's deeper achievement wasn't technical. It was philosophical. The company embraced a powerful idea: computers should serve people. People should not serve computers. Today, that idea feels obvious. At the time, it wasn't. Many early computing systems assumed users would adapt themselves to technology. Apple increasingly argued the opposite. Technology should adapt itself to users. That shift transformed the industry. Computers became tools for artists, students, teachers, writers, designers, families, small businesses. The audience expanded dramatically, and with it, the market. What Apple really did. A common myth suggests Apple invented personal computing. That isn't accurate. Personal computers existed before Apple. Many organizations contributed. IBM Commodore International Tandy Corporation along with countless researchers and hobbyists. Apple also didn't invent the graphical interface or the mouse. What Apple excelled at was something different. Translation. It translated powerful technologies into experiences ordinary people could understand. And translation is often more important than people realize. History celebrates invention, but adoption changes the world. The Silicon Valley pattern. Throughout Bay origins, we've seen this pattern repeatedly. Fairchild created semiconductors. Intel created microprocessors. Xerox PARC imagined future computing. Apple connected those breakthroughs to ordinary people. The company didn't invent every underlying technology. Instead, it performed a different function, one that appears again and again throughout Silicon Valley history. It made the future usable. And once technologies become usable, they become scalable. And once they become scalable, they begin changing society. Many companies build technologies. Far fewer change how humans relate to technology. Apple helped transform computing from something people visited into something people lived with. Before Apple, computers were largely institutional. After Apple, computers increasingly became personal. That shift helped launch one of the most important technological transitions in human history. And the effects continue today. Smartphones, tablets, wearables, modern software design. All carry traces of the same philosophy. Technology should feel human. Throughout Bay origins, we've explored how the Bay Area repeatedly transforms ideas into industries. Stanford generated talent. Fairchild generated semiconductors. Intel generated microprocessors. Xerox PARC generated visions of future computing. Apple connected those breakthroughs to ordinary people. Which brings us back to the question at the heart of Bay origins. Why did it happen here? Perhaps because the Bay Area didn't merely invent technologies. It repeatedly produced people capable of turning inventions into experiences. And experiences change the world. The Innovator's Ledger. Lesson 1. Adoption matters more than invention. History remembers inventors. Markets reward adoption. A brilliant technology creates little value if people cannot understand or use it. Lesson 2. Simplicity is a competitive advantage. Apple succeeded by removing friction. Complexity limits adoption. Simplicity expands it. The best products often feel obvious in retrospect. Lesson 3. Human-centered design creates markets. Apple didn't simply build computers. It built experiences around computers. Organizations that focus on users rather than features often create larger long-term impact. Apple transformed computing by making sophisticated technology accessible to ordinary people. What expertise in your industry remains unnecessarily difficult for customers to access or understand? Computers existed before Apple. Microprocessors existed before Apple. Graphical interfaces existed before Apple. But Apple helped bring them into everyday life. The company transformed computing from something people visited into something people lived with. And in doing so, it accelerated one of the most important technological transitions in human history. From institutional computing to personal computing, from specialists to everyone. And once again, the future emerged from the Bay Area. This is Bay Origins, birthplace of the future.